I think it's fairly obvious to say that the Scottish government have completely lost their minds even further. Whether it's the SNP side of it or the Scottish Green side of it, like Lorna Slater, who is one of the ministers for Nicola Sturgeon's government, but also leading the Scottish Greens inside that weird establishment. They are against NATO. They want to leave NATO, like all the other left-wing parties, of course. They're by nature, fundamentally, they want to leave, as opposed to the conservative capitalist parties who don't want to leave. That's always been a debate anyway. But they also have a problem with Trident and a deterrent. She was on BBC, on TV, Lorna Slater, and she had a bit of a meltdown. I'm going to show you the meltdown because, on the one hand, she unintentionally defended the deterrent that she's against, as long as it's on behalf of Putin. She said NATO is bad because it's about aggression. Fair. And then at the same time, she says we need to get in there. We need to go to Ukraine and be the aggressors. Watch this.
The Scottish Greens have, as I say, philosophical objection to NATO on the basis that it is this first strike nuclear capability. Whether that
nuclear weapons are a deterrent, aren't they?
I don't believe in the nuclear deterrent.
I mean, of all things to be against NATO, whether it's the historic mistake and the strategy and all a lot of issues, right? And I'm very objective and criticize it. To focus on the deterrent side of it, considering that also, like, you got countries like Pakistan and India and Russia also have it, like, you do realize you can't just completely give it up from your side. On the other hand, she says that, and this is where she was going to say, of course, she doesn't really like NATO. And then she's going to say, well, I'm against deterrence, but we should go in. Watch this.
Well, I mean, it self-evidently is. The reason we're not going in and flattening the Russian army at the moment is because Vladimir Putin has nuclear weapons.
That is a failure of NATO. We could do more to help Ukraine if we weren't afraid of escalating the conflict.
So they're a deterrent.
It's a
whoa. What was that about? Okay, so you don't like intervention. You also don't like the deterrent. But then you had a bit of meltdown the moment the presenter said, well, can you confirm that the fact that the deterrent is working is because there has not been any red button being pushed by either side? And then she said, that's the problem. That's the fundamental problem. We should send all our tanks into Ukraine and Moscow and everywhere else. What is wrong with these people? Seriously, how do people vote for people like Lorna, for people like Nicola and everybody else in the Scottish government? It's absolutely embarrassing. And I decided when I saw this story, I was like, I have to talk about this because it's not just about Lorna Slater. I got Michelle Thompson, another member of the SNP establishment as well, who came out and compared the Ukraine conflict to the suffering of the Scottish independence freedom fighters, up to a point where she was forced to apologize. So Michelle Thompson had to apologize for comparing the Ukraine struggle to Scottish independence. It's almost on the same level. What? I mean, seriously, this is another one. Michelle Thompson, one of those people who every now and then says something without thinking, and it fuels the SNP gang and the clique and the activists, and they say, yes, this is what we want. We like this sort of kind of straight talking. But then they say, we don't like people like Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, and all the others because they're straight talking. Like, you literally are supporting Michelle Thompson. She's completely mental. Allegedly. Don't sue me, Michelle. So, I'm not your doctor. But I thought I'd give you an update when it comes to Scotland, because we're not really seeing much in the media when it comes to Scottish news anyway. But here we are. We are here to give you the update. I'm going to come back 6 p.m. It's going to come with another episode of Disrupt, the Ukraine Brief. I'm Maya TC, and we are the media.